Hey, good morning, beautiful Southern Oregon. It is a sunny, warm day. It's going to be 80 degrees today, and it's been fun working out the last few days. Although I'm having to do very small batches of epoxy because when it hits 75, 80 degrees in the shop, things cook off very quickly. Anyway, here are some things going on with the Great Alaskan. It's an exciting time. Things are really moving along. I spent a little bit of time getting my rub rails on. I don't plan on having them go clear to the front, so I wanted to figure out where to do the fairing. The seam between the bulwark and the sides, just a little bit rough and pitted, and I could easily go in and fair that out smooth. But if I'm gonna have the rub rail over it, why bother? Got my house pipes in, just for placement. I'll take those out before I start doing some painting. Doing the last of the fairing work along the window here. It's pretty darn smooth. I think it's basically ready to prime. Got a little bit of work to do under the eaves to smooth that out, but it's good. Put a bunch of fairing compound down on my back deck here. Even added a couple of grab rails. That'll help with the swim step. And on the inside, I've actually primed my back bulkhead. Took a few more coats of epoxy and a little bit of compound, get the fillets smoothed out, but they're looking pretty good too. Of course, the head, got my little grab rail in there. It'll make my wife, the physical therapist, happy. And I cut a hole in my roof. Yeah, because I decided I had another hatch from a kind of a salvage boat that I refurbished and is in really good shape. And this is what it's gonna look like. I simply made a template of the hatch flange that drops through the roof. Positioned it where I wanted it and then cut it. It's kind of a painful cut having to look straight up into it. Then I went back and I made a little, I guess, ring for it to mount on so it will sit higher and not protrude into the cabin much. This is where having those scrap woods, the free fiberglass wood scraps, is super helpful, because I had some 1/2-inch glassed on both sides ply and I was able to just cut it to shape. I'm going to glue that in place. Now there is a slight curve to the roof, and I was going to try to sand the wood to match, and I thought, no, that's what thickened epoxy is for. And it's going to get a fillet all the way around, so it'll be clamped tight in the middle, and then cure on the outside. I'll go out and I'll fillet it. And then this will be mounted, and I think I'm going to mount it so the opening faces back. But this is just going to be a really nice addition to the cabin. I think, let's see here, just drops right in here like that. Oh, perfect. It's perfectly flush right there. Now again, I'm going to use the carpeted headliner to finish this off, so I'll have to mount it and then I'll cut it flush with that, but that's going to look really good. Oh, now that's perfect. The other thing I did is I installed a mushroom vent. Had to cut yet another hole in the roof. This is an adjustable thing, a little like what you see in RVs, but a little bit sturdier. It's got a mushroom cover over the top to prevent water or rain from coming in. It's only a, what is mine, 3/8 inch thick roof, so I had to trim the mounting bezel down. And then I went back yesterday and massaged thickened epoxy into that plywood, because I definitely don't want water getting in there. And before I permanently mount this or the hatch, I'll use some sealant, probably 4200 or maybe 5200 DuPont, to get it all permanent, semi-permanent. So my plan for this week is to get these outside window frames painted so I can get the windows on. Because that's kind of the last thing I need to do. I'll do some basic electrical installs and then get my inspections done. So this is fun. Every time I install something, it's like the final time. I'm pulling out things I've had for a year or two that I bought and installing them, and they fit and they work, most of them. And it's just giving it that finished look. It's a pretty exciting part in the build. So anyway, coming along. This is another little quick project I made. I was trying to figure out how to mount these LED lights on top in a convenient way so they were movable and stood up. So I made these little mounting pucks. If you can see it there, I put them on the disc sander and shaved off about a 5-degree slant so they'll sit flat. And I'm gonna glue these right here on the front, one on each side. There is a T-nut inset into the bottom, so these will be glued down permanently. That T-nut should stay put, and that'll let me kind of twist these side to side and up and down and get them above the rim here. So if I want to point them down, I can get light on the anchor. I want to point them straight ahead and help drive, I can do that too. Now I just really want to start getting things primed and painted and the last of the gluing up done so I can move on to installing more stuff and really starting the wiring. So for this week, I've made my list, I've gone down, I've categorized, I've prioritized, and time to get started. So just nuts and bolt stuff this week. A little sanding here, a little priming there, a little painting there, a little installing here and there. By the end of the week, I think it'll look more like a boat. Finished boat. Because I'm reading about some of our co-builders who are cruising the waters of Mexico and Alaska. I'm pretty damn envious.